How's it going, guys? Bring up Platoon here, and welcome back to World of Tanks post-update 6.0. Today I'm going to have two games for you, and they're both going to be in the Tier 6 American turreted tank destroyer, the Jackson. This thing is like the Hellcat in many ways, but mobility is not one of them. It's actually slower than the Hellcat, but its traverse speeds are a little bit better, so that makes sense. How? Moving on. So, like I said, traverse speeds very similar. If you played the Hellcat, then went to this, and vice versa, you'll be used to it. If not, well, look how slow that fucking turret turns. Oh, it's fantastic. Just kidding. It's not. This thing weighs nothing, but it gets a hell of a lot more armor than the Hellcat in the front. If people try to ram you in this thing, they're not going to do a lot of damage if they're a light tank or medium tank. Maybe a heavy tank, but even then, your lower plate is 114 millimeters thick, and your upper plate is 60 millimeters thick, so if they shoot at your upper plate, well, expect it to pen, because it doesn't have a lot of angle to it, and your sides are 25 millimeters thick. So, cool. And if arty hits you, well, God help you. If you don't get one hit, you're gonna get, well, shafted, because unless they hit the tracks, you're going to lose half or all of your health. And a module is probably going to get damaged, or your crew member is going to die. But such is the arty life of dealing with them. So that's cool. Its top speed is a very minuscule 42 kilometers compared to the Hellcat at 70 kilometers an hour. I'm done comparing them. The Hellcat's just better in mobility. This thing just has a better gun, in my opinion. But yeah, reverse speed for this thing is 11 kilometers an hour. 660 health. What do you get on the console? Ooh, 590. Whoop-de-doo! I'm reading this from tanks.gg, so apologies if there's some slight differences. The gun reloads every 6 seconds with everything that I have on it. I've got a gun rammer on, as well as the food, as well as Brothers in Arms, aka Born Leader. And what else do I have on this thing? That's about it, actually. As well as the skill that increases your DPM, I think. I could be wrong about that. Its dispersion values are 0.34, so that's not terrible. At 100 meters for the 90 millimeter gun. Oh yeah, I should also go into the regular. Okay, AP rounds, 160 millimeters of penetration. APCR rounds for dealing with tier 8s, you get 243 millimeters of penetration for the APCR rounds, and then high explosives, you're only going to want to be shooting at like Borsigs. Anything with basically no armor at all, because it only has 45 millimeters of penetration, dealing 320 instead of your standard 240 damage on average per penetration. I probably repeated myself there, don't care. 10 degrees of gun depression, very nice for an American tank. 20 degrees of gun elevation, not bad. And we all know the gun traverses ass, gonna skip over that. 370 degrees, 370 meters of view range for this thing. Again, comparing it to the Hellcat, has the same amount of view range, just a little bit worse. Very eensy-beensy tiny bit worse concealment rating when compared to the Hellcat. What else? Not much to talk about with this thing. But yeah, the gun zooms in a lot faster than the Hellcat. You'll notice that I'm playing very shittily. Don't do what I'm doing right now. Don't try to fucking side script with this thing. Your sides can be overmatched by tanks in your own tier. Don't do it. Don't do it. If they have a gun caliber bigger than 75 millimeters, then they can overmatch you in the side. It's hilarious. Not really. Doesn't matter what angle it's on. They're going to pen you. Unless they hit your tracks. But even then, don't want to chance it. Same thing for your turret. It's 25 millimeters thick all the way around, unless they hit your mantlet. Then, well, they have a chance to go through anyway, but only near, like, the inner sides of it. Like, right outside the gun barrel is where it's mounted, where it's the weakest. But it goes up to, like, 150 millimeters of protection in the mantlet, so that's pretty cool. But don't expect to bounce shots. Play this thing like a paper-thin TD, a.k.a. how I'm not playing it now. Just don't be reckless. Stay in the back and snipe. Spot as much as you can without getting detected like a donkey like I am right now. And you'll do great things in this tank. Nah. But yeah, much like the Hellcat, it's not hard to rack up damage with this thing, especially when you reload every 6 seconds and deal 240 alpha. So yeah, don't worry about racking up damage, as you only need, if you're even worried about it. Hold on, I'm looking up the mark right now. Jackson American, yeah. You only need about 1,300, or sorry, 1,400, I'm just going to round it up, damage per game to 3-mark this vehicle. You don't really got to worry about doing too badly, because even in your worst case scenario game, you get 1,000 damage. Oh no! You'll get 2,000 damage the next game, probably guaranteed. Just play smart, and you'll do good things in this tank, I assure you. Just be aware that non-turreted TDs can outmaneuver this thing because of its terrible turret traverse. Always keep that in mind when you're driving this thing, and you'll be fine. Just keep your distance from people. Hope to Christ that they'll auto-ricochet off your upper plate when you put it at auto-ricochet angles, and they'll definitely bounce off. Ooh, so that's... I'm not even going to mention that, because the chances of that happening are pretty slim. So, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm definitely going to mention it. There's a lot of ways that I could have died this round, but I didn't. I don't know how I didn't, but like right here, prime example, I'm waiting for the tank to show up. I'm going to one-hit him. I've got APCR loaded. I'm going to just lock onto him and hit him. No problem. Wait for him to show up. I'm going to cough real quick. Wait for it. It's going to pop out anytime. Yep, there he is. And what do? I hit a fucking rock. Fuck yeah. And then he misses. Because we both auto-locked like idiots, and it didn't work out for either of us. So fun. That RNG. Pretty funny. But yeah, by all accounts, I should be dead right now. So, when trying to make people auto-ricochet off your upper and lower plate, that is, of course, making the angle bigger than 70 degrees, that's an auto-ricochet. Your very right piece of your lower plate is actually equalized for some reason. It goes from 77.2 original angle auto-ricochet to 42.6 degrees, and then being able to be penned by its own gun at 70% chance of penetrating yourself with your own gun. And that's with 160 millimeters of pen. So, yeah. Even trying to make people bounce off your upper plate and lower plate with ricochet angles, that sometimes won't work out well due to the equalizing of the weird shape in your lower hull. So that's kind of ass. But it's a very small piece, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. And you're really only going to do that in desperate situations anyway. So, if it doesn't work out, and they fire high explosive, then you're fucked anyway. So it doesn't matter. It's fine. Everything's fine. But yeah, no reason why I shouldn't have lost this game. But, again, crazier things have happened, and the state of the game right now is a fucking joke, let's be honest. I'm telling this medium tank to help me, because he's back to the base for some reason. I don't know what he's thinking. I'm just trying to spot this Tiger 2 before I get spotted, which is hilarious considering it's a tier 8 vehicle. And, yeah. Things just magically work out, so that's funny. Pretty sure the Tiger 2 is a bot, though. Just judging by all of his weird behavior. And we're going to see him in a few seconds / a minute here. But my little friend over there, T23E3, is also a one-hit, so naturally he's going to be a little skittish as well. But pretty sure I'll get better camo than that T23E3, but he's got way better of a fire rate than I do. I'm assuming better DPM as well. But that might be a lie, because he's got a 76mm on. Yikes. But yeah, if you like the Hellcat, you're going to feel like you're downgrading if you go to this thing. And it just doesn't make sense to... Oh, I'm spotted. Where is he? He's right behind me. Don't know why I'm not dead. Did he shoot me? Or did he miss? I can't tell. Well, anyway, I'm detected. I'm going to stay very, very behind this rock here. And just pray that when I pop out, he doesn't blind hit me. So I'm going to pop out, use the bushes, and shabam. Wait for it. There it is. Okay. Now I've damaged his engine. And I'm pretty sure he's going to come rushing towards me. So I'm going to use my kind of good momentum my terrible momentum, to go up this hill here. Hopefully stay unspotted to him. And we're going to hope for the best. So I don't get spotted there. That's really great. I'm going to make my way up this hill and use these bushes so I can spot him out in the open, and maybe the medium tank can assist me in damaging him. Guess what doesn't happen? Yeah, that medium tank might as well be dead, because, well, maybe he keeps him focused towards him, and that allows me to pretty much full health this Tiger 2. Or at least half health him, since I'm the only one doing damage to him at this point. I don't even think the T-23-3 could pen him through his upper plate with his premium pen at this point. And of course, I couldn't high roll there. No. Had to leave him on a one hit. And what does a Tiger 2 do? He couldn't have any less to do with me. He just wanted to kill the T-23-3. Maybe he was frustrated, but he ended up dying. Because I was spotted, I was out in the open, and as soon as he turned his turret to face me, the T-23-3 presumably would have finished him off. But naturally, I'm top of the list in a Tier 8 game, because playing Tier 6s is really hard, and it's just, like, well done, team. Well fucking done. Bots. 3,400 base damage. In a Tier 6 tank, in a Tier 8 lobby. Like, wonderful. Second map we're going to get is Highway. And this map, when I have a very high concealment tank, this is the calculated risk I take every game. Doesn't matter what tiers I'm facing. If I have high camouflage, this is just what I choose to do every game. And it turns out pretty well most of the time, as long as I don't get full health if I get detected by a enemy light tank out in the field before I get my chance to hide in the bush that I go to immediately every game. But I look towards the building, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to shoot that building down, bam. That's one hit. They'll take care of one side, and now I'm going to shoot again to get rid of the other side so I can freely look at the J and K, well, the J line, if they poke their heads up on that little hill from where the enemies are spawning. I notice a light tank's over there, and I'm like, okay, I have to put a few shots into him if I can, and I can't because the bridge is there, and I think I actually get detected here, or do I? Do I get exceedingly lucky and stay unspotted? No, I get a free shot into the Wojciech, though, who happens to be rushing out into the field. A medium tank with not a lot of concealment, but good for him for trying. Good job, Mr. Dragon King. You've officially fucked yourself and possibly your team over by doing that. But I try to make it to that bush right in front of me where I shot the building down. There's a bush there. And if you get there and stay in the bush, stay hidden, you can spot for the entirety of your team as long as you got good view range. And if you don't have that good of view range, well, just pop on the consumables for a little boost. 15% boost to be exact, and spot away. If anybody's heading into town, you'll spot them, and if anybody pops up out of a bush on the J line, you'll spot them too, around like J7, J8-ish. So that's pretty cool. And possibly even sooner. Depends how dedicated they are to staying on that path on the J line. But yeah, this is the bush that I rush to, try to rush to every single game. So if you can see it from the other side, feel free to put a few blind shots into this area, just because I would assume other people do the same thing that I do. I try to finish off this KV, whatever the fuck that was, but I end up not hitting him or bouncing off or something there. That was pretty weird. Thought he was going to be backing up in that direction, but it's fine. I'm spotting for pretty much the entirety of the enemy team, right? My team, sorry. And there's my consumables finishing up. Gotta wait another 60 seconds for them to be used again. We have a good 2 mediums on the enemy side, the enemy spawn, and one of them's rushing out to meet an enemy medium. That's pretty cool. He's probably getting bombarded by the 2-line and 3-line snipers in their base. And there's an Absolution. Absolutely dedicated on crossing that bridge to come get me, or just my team in general. So I'm going to rightfully load the 243 pen fuck you APCR rounds, usually used for just facing tier 8s, but fuck the Absolution. It's a pay-to-win tank, and I fucking hate it. It's got spaced armor on its upper plate, it gets spaced armor on its side, and unless you shoot, like, lower the track, or, yeah, lower near the tracks, you're not gonna pen it. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's got a big hatch, though, so that's pretty great. But yeah, its gun, its DPM is outrageous for a Tier 6 vehicle. And it gets a shit ton of health, and it's not, well, not TOG 2 levels of health, but it's fast as fuck, too. It can ram things for a good chunk of health, and just, it's a beast, that fucking Absolution tank. But it's pay to win, I don't agree with it. End of story. That shot should have went in. Probably should have aimed that one a little bit better. I'm getting shot at from my ass end. I need to put all my aiming skills to good use and finish off that guy in front of me. And for some reason, my team just decides to melt. Like, within the last minute, they all just died. Yep. There they go. Well done. We had 2 mediums go down the K line. They died. And then the rest of the people in town decided to go out in the field because they're geniuses. Or did they go out in the field? I don't even know. Look at this bullshit shot. Bam! Oh, that was great. Couldn't have penned the upper plate for me on that one, could you, game? No, 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 no. Of course not. We're going to ricochet off the side of that Sherman tank. Cool beans. Thank you, game. Once again, because of the wonky controls of the vehicle, or not the vehicle, the server of this wonderful game we like to play. And then I'm going to finish him off. And what's going to happen? Artie's going to shit on my dreams. Yeah, cool. Thanks for not one-hitting me, I guess. I'm going to put a free shot into this Cheeto, and now you're going to see a beautiful display of what I hate about this tank and the Hellcat. Check this shit out. Might as well be a non-turreted tank destroyer, because look at this. Jagdpanzer IV has better DPM than I do, and look how long it takes me for me to aim at him. I think I can juke him out and use my turret to my advantage, but nope, his DPM is better. Because that's what non-turreted tank destroyers can do. They have better DPM for the most part, and they're just, they fire faster, that's pretty much it. And higher camouflage rating, usually. But, yep, that's the game. That's 2 games of me getting 3,400 damage base in this thing, and a little bit more when you put into consideration for assisted damage. But yeah, I was first on the team, and first on the scoreboard at the very end of the game, even though we lost. What does that tell you? I did more than quadruple damage than my other best players on my team combined. It's, ooh, I didn't even word that right, but I don't even care. If you guys enjoyed my stuff, feel free to subscribe, hit that bell button so you get notified of every new upload I do upload. I guess that wording's weird. Moving on. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.